Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to make a video about 5 hot stocks you need to buy right now before we reach October. So September is historically, this is something I wanted to point out right away, just beginning of the video. This is what usually happens month to month in the stock market right here, ignore that. But this is the average returns. I mean, as the S&P has returned around 10% a year for the past, almost 100 years, this is how month to month the stock market usually moves. You see January is a great month, July is a great month, December is a great month, April is a great month. These are all months that return over 1%. And on average, the stock, the S&P 500 has returned around 10% a year. So this all adds up to 10% at the end. You can do the math. But there's only a few months where the stock market is down. Usually we see that is February, May, and then the biggest down month is September, where it's down over a percentage point. So there's only 4 months where it's up over 1%, and then there's 1 month where it's down over 1%. Besides that, there's only 2 months where it's pretty much flat. It's not even really down. So that's, that goes to show right here that September could be a bad month. And it's not always like this. This is just the average. Sometimes it's down 5%. Sometimes it's up 5%. Anything can happen in September. But usually averages, return to themselves, if that makes any sense. Usually it is what it is. It's just you can't change the averages. So I want to go into 5 stocks that you guys can buy right now and feel good about because they've already gone down a little bit in September, or maybe they're going up in September. It doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that September makes it harder for stocks to go up. So if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. We're at 510 subscribers as of recording this. Appreciate your guys' support so much. Let's get right into it. So we see today it's a great day in the portfolio. This, is thanks to AMD. Great day. Also Google. But let's look into these stocks. The first one I'm saying to buy right now is definitely Google. I'm not going to go into some, big explanation for all of these stocks because I respect your guys' time and I want you to get these stocks and get out of here. But I do want to give you a short consensus on each stock because you don't want to just blindly buy stocks because I'm telling you to. That would be a bad strategy. I wouldn't trust myself to do that. So I do want to show you guys why I believe in these companies. Google, 2 things. 2 things for Google, 3 things, two big things for Google. So one thing is that their company's up, year to date, up 25%. They were down actually 15%. So they've really rebounded and they're looking strong. But even though Google's up so much, they're undervalued. This is a big reason why I'm investing in Google right here. They are severely undervalued. They're getting back to the valuation they should be at as the stock price increases, but at an under 25 PE ratio for a company in this sector, pretty insane. Just for comparison, look at Apple's PE ratio. They have 36. Let's look at Microsoft's PE ratio. These are all huge companies, bigger than Google or right around there. 36 PE ratio, and then Amazon. These are all companies that are comparable with Google. Google may even be better than some of these. Up to you to decide that, but all of them have 36 PE ratio and Google doesn't. So, that just goes to show maybe, Google's a little undervalued. That's one reason. The other reason for Google is they just actually, that their stock price is up so much. If we go to the news tab right here, does it still say it? No, it doesn't. But what happened was Google actually won some kind of, there's some court case and Google won it. So their stock's been up a lot, especially in the past week. We see here it's up 12% in the past week. Just some sharp jumps over here. Great to see that. And then the third and final most important reason I'm investing in Google is because a lot of people don't even know this. But, let's click show more. What does Google own? Okay, I'm pretty sure it says on here. Because Google is, they're in the transportation sector, as you see right here, Robinhood highlights. But what transportation are they in? It actually doesn't say on here, but it is interesting because you think, okay, Google transportation, how does that work? They actually own Waymo, the autonomous driving, cars. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Waymo, but they're in a lot of major cities. They're in San Francisco, LA, more on the West Coast than East Coast. They're in Phoenix. They're in a few big cities in Texas. So they are expanding very fast, Waymo. They are expanding very fast, and they're doing very well. Uber is actually, they actually have some of Waymo in their ownings now because I think they're afraid Waymo is going to put them out of business. They can undercut their prices pretty severely and have a higher profit margin from that because there's no drivers. And I mean, also there can be labor strikes. There's a lot of unforeseen circumstances with Uber, but Waymo doesn't have that. It's pretty, clear cut and straight to the point. So I really do like Waymo, and I think that that is what's going to propel Google stock. I think Waymo will have a market cap higher than 2.9 trillion. Over in 10 years here. I think Waymo's market cap itself, not just Google, is going to be in the $3 trillion range. So Google's market cap will probably be around 6 trillion at least. Their company is going to grow besides Waymo as well, so it's probably going to be even more. And then their PE ratio is probably going to be higher. I really like Google right now, and I'd buy it right now before the end of September. Don't wait for the stock price to drop. You're never going to get that. So just buy it right now and dollar cost average down if it does drop, but I don't think it's going to drop. So that's the first stock on this list. One of my favorites, Cheesecake Factory, another stock on this list. When you buy Cheesecake Factory, remember, you're not buying Cheesecake Factory. That might sound confusing to, a few people, but if you have read into the financials of this company, you look a little bit deeper of this company. They do not just own Cheesecake Factory. It operates the Cheesecake Factory restaurants, which is the Cheesecake Factory. You guys probably know what that is if you're watching this. North Italia, you might not know what that is. You might know what North Italia is. You might have eaten there and not known that it was owned by Cheesecake Factory. Every single location is owned by Cheesecake Factory. And Flower Child. Flower Child, you might have also, same thing, eaten there and not known that it was owned by Cheesecake Factory, or you may not know about both of these companies. But if you look into it, I have a lot of videos on Cheesecake Factory, also a severely undervalued stock, but they're expanding at a 20% clip compounding annual growth rate on Flower Child and on North Italia, both of these combined. And they're, the growth rates are insane on those. The amount of locations, they're looking to have 700 locations in the long run on Flower Child, and then I think around 200 to 300 on North Italia, maybe 400. So really like that. I think this market cap is going to be 10x one day. To be quite honest with you, I really think that's what's going to happen. We can compare it to, I think they're going to be on the level of where Chipotle is, not even just right now, but even at Chipotle's peak, where their market cap is 54 billion and their PE is 35. I think Cheesecake Factory is going to be at that level one day. So severely undervalued stock again. You probably see a trend, a lot of undervalued stocks here, but we're going to switch it up with the next stock, SoFi. Excuse me. Made a video about this stock 2 days ago. If you guys haven't seen that, check that out. But SoFi Technologies is a great company, one that has done me very well. I haven't put a lot of money into it just because it was so cheap. I was scared, but if I knew what I know now, I would have put a lot more money into SoFi, let me tell you. And I'm still dollar cost averaging up. I really like SoFi. So they crush earnings every time. Their PE ratio is a little high. This is a stock that you might veer away from just because you think it's expensive. I'd say don't be worried. This company deserves to be the price it is. The PE ratio might be low for how great this company is. Like I said, check out the other video I made where I go over their financial sheet, SoFi stock analysis. But yeah, their market cap's 30 billion. This is nothing. The main consensus for SoFi, just to shorten it up for this sake of this video, is if we look at banks, take this in right now. SoFi has a $30 billion market cap at a 52 PE ratio and 5,000 employees. Remember those three key statistics, and they were founded in 2011. This is a very new company. They haven't even been public for 5 years. But okay, back to this. Anthony Noto, great CEO also, but 5,000 employees, $30 billion market cap, 52 PE ratio. Let's look at Wells Fargo. Their market cap is 260 billion. Their PE ratio is not even 14, and they have 217,000 employees. So they're paying for the leases of every single location they have. They're paying all of these employees on payroll. That's two expenses that they have. And their PE ratio is only, 14. They're not a very, in a competitive space. Wells Fargo is well established, but they're not, inventing the next big thing. No one's expecting this company to just blow up out of nowhere. If you are in this company, it's for the 2% dividend yield. Maybe you got a nice return on it, but Wells Fargo and these big bank companies, and you see it's $260 billion market cap, which I think SoFi is going to surpass one of these days. And then let's look over at Chase, JP Morgan. Let's see what they're doing. They have actually one of the biggest market caps for banks. They have 822 billion and a 15 PE ratio. 317,000 employees, many locations for JP Morgan. There's probably one in the city you live in. There's probably either a Wells Fargo or a Chase. There's probably both, at least in my city. I don't even live in a very big city. but there's 2 Wells Fargo locations, there's more even ATMs, and then there's a few Chase Bank locations as well, 2 or 3. So that's 5 locations in my not so big city that the lease on those is a good amount. I mean, that's already an expense of 100,000 plus a year at least. So that's, that goes to showing the employees that are in there too. I mean, there's just this one small city in America, just one small town. They're paying, it's almost over, I'd say at least a $400,000-$500,000 expense with the employee's salary, the leases, just to keep the lights on in those places. SoFi doesn't have any of that. I need to stop because I could talk about SoFi all day. It's one of my favorite stocks in the stock market. You guys watching know that. But yeah, I really do like SoFi right now, and that narrative and that consensus that I have on the stock, that is why I love SoFi so much. They don't have any locations. They only have 5,000 employees, and people are switching to digital banking as it is. So SoFi is really set up very well for the long run. So those are the first 3 stocks. Let's get into the last 2 right here. We have E.l.f. E.l.f. is my 4th stock. E.l.f., one of my favorite companies as well, actually. E.l.f. is almost up there with SoFi because of that competitive advantage they have. This is why my favorite companies to invest in are the ones with competitive advantages, because some new player needs to start off from nothing and come into the game to beat them, which usually doesn't really happen. So this one has an 81 PE ratio. They're very, competitively priced, honestly, and their market cap's only $7 billion. This is still a small company, only have 633 employees, but the production that E.l.f.'s doing and the things that they're doing with their products is amazing. They're the leading makeup provider in the world. We see that they've only been public for around 10 years, not even, and they IPO'd at $24. This is a company that's had their ups and downs. This is where they rose right here. They rose to $210. They dropped all the way to below 50. It doesn't show right there. If we take it back in the past year, we see that, yeah, they did go below 50 right here. They're $49.95, if I'm not mistaken. 52-week low, $49.40. So E.l.f. has had their ups and downs, and one thing that isn't, a clear investing thesis, but one thing that I'm thinking is this the best E.l.f. is ever going to be? Did E.l.f. reach its peak stock price in 2024? I don't think so. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't think it's going to take that long, but E.l.f. is going to, double here eventually. They're going to be worth more than 210 because that's not the last price that E.l.f. is ever going to reach in all-time highs. I definitely believe in E.l.f. a lot more than that. That's not going to be the final price that E.l.f. is like, okay, that's the all-time high and we can never reach it again. No. The growth rates on this company, the leadership, the management, I really do like this company a lot, and it's very good to diversify your portfolio with this company. You see their household goods and personal care, and there's no reason that you shouldn't invest in E.l.f. I don't think. This is one that, it's 23% of my portfolio. I believe in it pretty heavily. It's given me a great return. I'm all in on E.l.f. I really do like it. I think this is a great stock, and it's a great thing to have, the way that they're moving and your stores are getting into. They're the fastest selling product at Target. That's pretty impressive. They're also in every Walmart, Dollar General. They're expanding very well, and they're going to be in a lot more stores pretty soon here. And when the public gets wind of these new stores that they're in, new customers get introduced to E.l.f. They're going to start making more money. They're about to increase their prices in August, actually, of 2026. They are going to increase their prices by $1 on every single product. This is going to make their top line go from here to here. Everyone's going to keep buying E.l.f. No one's going to say, oh, it's $1 more, I can't buy it. No, it's already the cheapest by far. $1 more is not going to kill them, and they're going to buy it still. And not $1 per transaction. If you have the fastest moving item at Target, you get on the shelves and get off the shelves the quickest, and you add $1 to every transaction, good things are going to happen. So that's what I have to say about E.l.f. Beauty. That is the 4th stock on the list. And then for the 5th stock here, we're going to talk about Celsius. Stock I haven't talked about in a while. I might make a full video on this one very soon here, but this one's treated me very well, Celsius. So it looks like it just went to night mode. What time? It just hit 5 o'clock over here. So up 100% on this company right here. Market value of 1.6 thousand on Celsius here. Excuse me, losing my voice. Need to drink some water. 7% of my portfolio, we see that they only have 1,000 employees. Not a huge company either, $15 billion. Their price to earnings ratio is very high. Very high. But I do think that that's a little skewed just because of, the company's financials and how they've been moving. But I think Celsius is still a buy right here. I mean, honestly, the growth rates that they're getting back up to, I mean, they were really cheap. You'd have to be crazy to not buy Celsius when it was in the 20s. That's when I bought it. I mean, or what's the word for it? I'm looking for the word for it. What is the word? I can't find the word, but The control over their market that they have is so strong. I go to college. I'm in college right now over at UC Santa Cruz. And there is Celsius in every single on campus store. And that is the one thing at every store that's sold out. Celsius is very attractive to the younger generation, the younger crowd. They just acquired Alani Nu, which also has just amazing branding. I mean, to be quite frank, the branding on their, containers, the branding on their advertisements, just everything that Alani Nu does, it's targeted specifically towards women. I mean, you can't not drink it if you're a guy, but their, customer base is women, is females. That is what Alani Nu is targeted towards. And, that's great to have. I think that those brands usually do very well, a lot of support in those areas. And I do think that acquiring them, Celsius, what they did is they acquired them for almost $2 billion. It was a great acquisition. Celsius themselves are looking very good as well because, I mean, the market share is growing. People are addicted to these things. It's like in recessions, let's look at Philip and Morris right here. They actually make Zins, but they make a lot of nicotine products, tobacco, things like that. We see delivering a smoke-free future and evolving a portfolio for the long term. Tobacco and nicotine, just like I said. Look at this company. They haven't gone down in the past 5 years. Even during COVID, they didn't go down, which is insane. They just kind of stayed the same. They went up a little bit right after. But I mean, that's when companies, and look at their dividend yield of 3. So this company's rising like that with a dividend yield of 3%. Wow. But these companies that, have addiction style, I mean, it might not be as ethical to invest in these. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I do think that investing in these companies is, pretty safe. People are addicted to these things. I know a few people that drink 2 a day. Celsius's are kind of expensive to be honest. I mean, as all energy drinks are, but 2 a day it's a good amount. And that's 14 a week. You can do the math, times that by 4. We have 56 a month. There's, you know what I mean? It gets to a point. That's a lot of Celsiuses. That's, for the company, that's a good amount. And there's a lot of people out there that are doing that. A lot of people drink 1 a day too. That's just very common. But Celsius, I like what they're doing. I like who they're targeting with their consumer audience. And I like where their financials are as a company. Their growth rates are back, just about to where they were when they were at this $95 price. So they're at 56 right now. And then another thing, do I think that this is the peak of Celsius's company? No. I don't think Celsius reached $95 and they're never going to get there again. That was a little over a year ago, not even that long ago. And do I think they're going to reach that again? Yes. Celsius, I have nothing to worry about with this company. I sleep well at night knowing that I hold Celsius. And yeah, so that's all I have for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy that, be sure to smash the like button. It really helps me out. Also, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. We're at 510 subscribers, looking for 600 next. So yeah, those are the 5 stocks that I'd invest in September. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to check out my other videos. Thank you guys for watching. Posting daily. Catch you in the next one. Peace.